Now on this board right here, we have 16 different draft classes, and each draft class is going to represent one team, barring a couple exceptions. Now we're going to have all of these draft classes face off against one another to figure out which is going to be the last one standing. So without further ado, let's figure out which draft class is going to be attacking first. Now as I mentioned, there is a couple of exceptions when it comes to some draft classes. The 2021 draft class isn't one of those exceptions though. So we know the 2021 draft is going to be attacking, but who are they going to be taking on? Well, they're going to be taking on draft classes 2022, 2023, and 2024. Now the reason I combined all three of these draft classes is some of these draft classes like 2024 only have like 5 NHL players actively playing. Now the Tallahassee Wild Hogs are going to be representing the 2021 draft class. We're going to see players such as Wyatt Johnston, Dylan Guenther, Matt Coronado, Logan Stankoven, Kent Johnson, William Eklund. Honestly, this isn't a bad team, but considering some of the other teams we're going to see today, this would be classified as one of the worst teams. Owen Power, Brandt Clark, Riker Evans, Luke Hughes. Like, they have a lot of great pieces here. You have a decent goaltender in Jesper Wallstedt. But yeah, just wait until we see the 2015 draft class or even the 2014 draft class. This team can't even compete. Now when it comes to the 2022, 2023, and 2024 draft class, we have the Barrie Bobcats. Connor Bedard is going to be leading the way here alongside Michkov and Lone Cooley. Slakowski, Macklin Celebrini, and Demidov are going to be on the second line. Like, this isn't a bad team whatsoever, but imagine if each draft class just represented one team with these classes right here. Because outside of Lane Hudson, the defense is not good here. There's a lot of amazing young talent, but this young talent just isn't quite ready yet. Even when it comes to goaltending, this isn't it. But if the Bobcats were going to upset one team, I think it would be the Wild Hogs. Like, they can actually somewhat compete with the 2021 draft class. So it's finally time for us to jump into our matchup here, but there is one more thing that we have to do, and that's have you subscribe to the channel, because of course we're trying to hit 84k subs by the end of the month, and there actually is a possibility that we've already hit 84k. So if we have done that, why don't we hit 85k? So make sure you subscribe to the channel right now. We don't have too many days left in the month. With all that being said, it's finally time for us to dive into our first matchup. We have the Hogs taking on the Bobcats here. It's going to be a great matchup. Wyatt Johnston's going to be picking up the first goal of the game, and it's going to be a power play goal. Moving into the second period, Wyatt Johnston's going to be picking up another goal here, while Logan Cooley is going to be responding. So we got ourselves a 1-goal game entering the third period. It's no surprise that game number 1 is going to be a close one. But unless the Bobcats score in the next couple minutes here, I do believe the Hogs are going to be taking this one. Dylan Guenther picked up a big goal halfway through the third period, and Matt Coronado's goal is going to be the difference maker. I mean, technically it wasn't. Wyatt Johnston's goal was the difference maker, but that's beside the point. The Hogs are going to be taking down the Bobcats, and we have our first draft class following, which is going to be the 2022, 2023, and 2024. So technically we have 3 draft classes following here, but that's beside the point. So with that victory from the 2021 draft class, we have our first draft class following. I'm going to be saying the words draft class a ton in this video, so you better get used to it. Also, players aren't going to be switching teams here because that just wouldn't make sense. If we're trying to figure out who's going to be the best draft class, we can't have players switching draft classes. Like, how would that make any sense? Now, I'm not going to lie, it kind of makes sense. The first draft class eliminated was our most recent draft class. Surprisingly, the 2011 draft class is actually going to be a bit of a throwback, and they're going to be attacking next. Like, in my eyes, the 2011 draft class isn't really that old. For some of y'all though, this draft class might be older than some of you. Like, now that I think about it, the 2011 draft class was 14 years ago. Some of y'all could be like 13 years old watching this, and that draft class was older than you. Now that's wild. They're taking on 2021. We know what they're comprised of, but let's go take a look at 2011. Now the 2011 draft class might be an older one, but they're still a really good class here. JT Miller, Nikita Kucherov, Jonathan Huberdeau, Mika Zibanejad, Mark Scheifele, Ricardo Kell. The bottom 6 is looking phenomenal here. There is 0 weaknesses on this team whatsoever. They have great defense here. You know what? The defense actually might be a weak point. Like, the right side is great, but Joel Edmondson on your third pairing, that's actually a weakness considering some of the other draft classes. When it comes to goaltending though, you got John Gibson, you got Jordan Bennington, so you're set in between the pipes. So we got the New Hampshire Saints taking on the Tallahassee Hogs here. The Hogs are getting an early power play, but we're not too sure if they're capitalizing on it. Yes, they are. Logan Stankoven picking up the first goal of the game. That could be a critical one. You can't be taking a penalty that early in the game. In the second period, JT Miller and Kent Johnson are going to be exchanging goals here. So once again, we're going to have a close finish, which is very surprising because I thought the Saints honestly would have just smoked them. And that Owen Power goal might be the difference, but never mind. Adam Larson's going to be responding minutes later. It's another power play for the Hogs. Nah, the Saints just have to stop taking penalties here if they want a chance. So we're entering the final minutes, and it doesn't look like the Saints are going to be responding. The 2021 draft class is going to take down the 2011 class here. 2011 was heavily favored heading into this matchup, but I guess they couldn't stand tall call when it mattered most. So just like that, we're 2 matchups in and 2 straight victories for the 2021 draft class. I never would have expected that. I mean, to be fair, I could see them beating the 2022, 2023, and 2024 draft class, but not 2011. 2011 had some dogs there, so that was definitely a massive upset. So that was certainly a big time upset, but it's time for us to move on to our next matchup, and we're going to see the 2018 draft class. Now, I want to call the 2018 draft a younger draft class, but these guys have been in the NHL for 7 years now. That's not necessarily that young. The 2018 draft class is going to be taking on 2012, so we have somewhat young versus somewhat old. I guess that's the best way to describe it. Then again, 2012 is not that old. That's 13 years ago, which sounds crazy saying it out loud. So the 2018 draft class is going to be represented by the Illinois Dogs. Sharon Govich, Marchenko, and Brady Tkachuk are going to be holding it down the top line. Svechnikov, Kotkaniemi, and Joel Farabee are going to be on the second line. I'm not going to lie, this is not the greatest team in the world here. Like, you have a couple great pieces, but outside that, the team is definitely struggling. Oh, they have the greatest defense of all time. Yeah, I kind of forgot about that. Quinn Hughes, Rasmus Dahlin, Noah Dobson, Martin Feravari, Sean Dursey, Evan Bouchard. Yeah, that is quite the defense right there. Y'all might not be able to score, but you're going to keep the puck out of the net because of Lucas Dostal and that defense. Now, the 2012 draft class is one of the biggest disappointments of all time. Here's the top 4. Nel Yakupov, Ryan Murray, Alex Galchenyuk, Griffin Reinhart. That was the top 4 selections. So yeah, this is what the team's going to be running. Clearly, they're not going to have any of those top 4 picks because none of those 4 picks are in the NHL anymore. There is one thing you have here. Amazing goaltending. You have Connor Hellebuyck and you have Vasilevsky. But yeah, outside of that, the team isn't the greatest in the world. Like, you have an okay defense. The offense isn't anything to cheer about here. Yeah, this draft class was kind of mid outside of a couple pieces. Also, if you want to hear something more wild, from that 2012 draft class, only 4 players remain from the top 10. Out of the top 10 selections, the only players still in the NHL, Morgan Rielly, Hampus Lindholm, Matt Dumba, Jacob Trouba. The other 6 players, gone. Completely vanished. So we have the Dogs, who have arguably the greatest defense of all time, taking on the Lions, who have arguably the greatest goaltending tandem of all time. I guess goaltending means absolutely nothing. The Dogs are running away with this one, 5-1. Yeah, the Lions didn't stand a chance in this one. Now, I certainly didn't expect a blowout there based on the 2012's goaltending class, but you know what? I guess it wasn't good enough. 2018 is going to be taking them down. So far, the young draft classes are doing their thing. So another older draft class is falling here. Let's see who's going to be our next attacking team. It looks like that's going to be the 2007 and 2008 draft class. Now, between 2007 and 2008, there's a ton of superstars on that team, but there's also a ton of mid players, if I'm being honest. They're going to be taking on another older draft in the 2009 draft class, so we have 2 of the oldest going against each other. So the San Francisco Sharks are going to be the 2007 and 2008 draft class. And when I was talking about this team having superstars, they had some superstars. Steven Stamkos, unfortunately not in his prime anymore. Patrick Kane, not in his prime anymore, but when these guys were in their prime, they were some great players. Even guys like Adam Henrique and Alex Killorn, when they were in their prime, they were some elite players. And then of course, St. Louis Blues legend David Perron, we can't sleep on him. When it comes to the defense, oh yeah, this is locked in. Roman Josi, John Carlson, Alex Pietrangelo, Ryan McDonough, Drew Doughty, Erik Karlsson. This is an elite defense right here. No weaknesses whatsoever. And they even have a fantastic goaltender in Jacob Markstrom. So you know what? As long as they keep the puck out of their net, all they have to do is score 1 goal per game. However, they're going to have their hands full with the Hawaii Tiki. You have John Tavares, Matt Duchene, Riley Smith on the top line. Chris Kreider, Nazem Kadri, Kyle Palmieri on the second line. You have a decent enough bottom 6 here. Not the greatest in the world, but you know what? You can certainly work with it. When it comes to the defense, Victor Hedman, Matthias Ekholm are going to be leading the way. You got Dmitry Orlov here. You also have Oliver Ekman-Larsson. And then when it comes to goaltending, you might be lacking a little bit because these are the only 2 active goaltenders left from this draft class. You have Darcy Kemper and Robin Leonard, who's a 70 overall. So yeah, you have to work with what you have here, but you know what? I think it's going to be a pretty fair fight. So we have a couple older draft classes going at it here between the Sharks and the Tiki. Jamie Benn's going to start the goal scoring off in the first period. Moving into the second, the Sharks are just going to keep on scoring. I don't think the Tiki are going to be making the comeback in this one because they're not even going to be scoring a goal. The San Francisco Sharks are going to be shutting them out, and it looks like the 2009 draft class is going to be eliminated. So I guess 2009 had nothing on the 2007-2008 draft. Now you might be thinking, well, it's kind of unfair. I combined 2 draft classes to take on one. If I had the 2007 as an individual team and 2008 as an individual team, they wouldn't have enough players. Like, they would have 0 overalls on their bottom 6, and then clearly that wouldn't be a fair fight. So I think this is the fairest that we could be. Now I feel like attacking teams have been on a little little bit of a hot streak here, so let's see if that's going to continue. The 2013 draft class is going to be on the attack next. Now, of course, the 2013 draft is going to be an incredibly strong one. Like, let's be honest here, we're taking the best players from every draft class. They're going to be pretty elite. But you know who else is going to be elite? 2016. They got some dogs for sure. They got some dogs on that team for sure. Now, this is going to be one of the best matchups we see today. Nathan MacKinnon, Jake Getzel, and Barkov on the top line. Buchnevich, Bo Horvat, Nichushkin on the second line. Bjorkstrand, Sean Monahan, Carter Verhaeghe. Like, this is an elite team right here. Looking at the defense, even better. Like, no weaknesses whatsoever. The lowest overall in the defense is an 87. And as long as they have a superstar goaltender, they're going to be all right. They got 90 overall UC Saros. But they're going to have their hands full of 2016 because you can't sleep on that draft class. Now, who exactly is on the 2016 draft class? Austin Matthews, Matthew Tkachuk, Jesper Bratt, Clayton Keller, Tage Thompson, Brandon Hagel, Patrick Laine, Jordan Kyrou, DeBrincat. No, this team is absolutely elite here. Zero weaknesses. What does the defense look like? Incredible. You have Adam Fox, you have Charlie McAvoy, Samuel Girard, Mikhail Sergachev, and then when it comes to goaltending, that might be the one weak spot, if you consider this a weak spot. 88 overall, Philip Gustafson. Yeah, this is going to be an incredible matchup. There is no favorite heading into this one. Either of these teams could come out on top. So we have the Alaska Ninjas taking on the Red Deer Wild. These are two great teams, and I'm expecting a close finish. However, the Ninjas are going to be picking up the first 2 goals of the game, and they're coming in the first 4 minutes. Moving into the second period, Nathan MacKinnon's going to double down. The Red Deer Wild just can't find the back of the net, but yes, they can. 4 unanswered goals, and then Seth Jones, a late goal in the third period. We didn't witness this because I didn't think this team would make the comeback. I didn't think they would be able to score 3 straight goals in the third period, let alone 4 straight goals. We have a 4-4 game, and it looks like we're off to overtime. So we finally have overtime in one of our matchups. The Wild taking on the Ninjas. You are about to witness all of the effort I put into making these arenas, because I can tell you for sure, I spent less than 30 seconds. I did not design a single arena. I have no clue what any of these arenas look like. So the Red Deer Wild are looking to go to work here. Austin Matthews is bringing the puck in. He's going to find Matthew Tkachuk a chance to end the game, but UC Saros, a big time save right there. He just saved the game. So it's an offensive zone draw for the Red Deer Wild. Tage Thompson's going to be taking this one. He's going to try to win it back, but he's not going to be able to do so. Shea Theodore's got the puck, and all he has to do is clear it, and now it's a 2-on-1 going the other way. Bo Horvat sending it over to Jake Getzel. He has a chance to end this one, but look at Gustafson, the big time save right there. No, it's a goaltending masterclass right now. No, I think the Ninjas could be in a bit of trouble. They have too many tired players on the ice right now. Tage Thompson, a chance to end it, but UC Saros, another big time save. So Jordan Kyrou's got to step on the defense, but he's just too exhausted. Never mind, doesn't matter if he's exhausted or not. UC Saros, the save of the game right there. Now the Ninjas are trying to go the other way, but they're not going to be able to get the puck out of the defensive zone. What a play from UC Saros. He single-handedly saved that game for them. Jordan Kyrou had the game on his stick, but he just couldn't find the back of the net. Carter Verhaeghe's shots can be blocked. Jordan Kyrou, you're going to have another opportunity, but you're absolutely exhausted. You just don't have gas in the tank for another breakaway. So it's an offensive zone draw for the Ninjas. They have to end this one right here. They got to find a way to put the puck in the back of the net. UC Saros has done absolutely everything for this franchise, and they got to repay him. Barkov's moving into the offensive zone. A nice saucer pass right over to Jesper Bratt. Only problem is Jesper Bratt's on the other team, so yeah, it wasn't that great of a pass. But now Jesper Bratt, a chance to end this. UC Saros is the greatest goaltender of all time. Bro is stopping everything. So we're down to our final minute, and it looks like somebody's picking up a penalty, but it might not matter. Jake Getzel, a chance to end this one, but he's not going to be able to capitalize. Sending it back to Bo Horvat. Bo Horvat's going to be knocked off the puck. A 50-second power play here. Tage Thompson's going to be picking up an interference penalty. That might have just cost his team the game. When it mattered most, Tage Thompson's picking up an interference penalty. That was just a stupid penalty. You didn't need to make that play right there, and that might have cost your team the game. So I guess time just wasn't on the Ninjas' side. Unless Josh Morrissey scores a really late goal here, there's not too much time left. Over to Barkov. Nathan MacKinnon, a chance to end it. The shot's going to be deflected into the corner. This one's over. We're off to a shootout. A shootout's going to be deciding this game because overtime wasn't good enough. I can't wait to see 9 million backhand shots. So Nathan MacKinnon's going to be bringing the puck in. He's going to be our first shooter in the shootout, and it doesn't look like he's going to be doing too much. Heading over to the Red Deer Wild, it looks like Austin Matthews is going to be the first shooter. Not much of a surprise there, and not much of a surprise in the big time moments. He's not showing up. So Barkov's going to be the next shooter for the Ninjas, trying to find the back of the net, but we have 2 brick walls in between the pipes here. Gustafson's making big save after big save. Now it's time for Matthew Tkachuk. He's going to go to the backhand here, and what a surprise, UC Saros is making the big save. So moving forward, the next goal is going to be the most important one. Jake Getzel, can you find the back of the net? It doesn't look like it. UC Saros, you got to make the save here. Jesper Bratt's going to be the next shooter for the Red Deer Wild. Can he find the back of the net here? Doesn't look like it. No, there's literally 2 brick walls. These guys are stopping absolutely everything. Buchnevich is going to be next up for the Ninjas. Can he beat Philip Gustafsson here? Yes, he can. Buchnevich has picked up the first goal of the shooter, and it might be the most important one. We need the Red Deer Wild to respond. And you know what? I've simulated enough shootouts. I know exactly what's going to happen here. Clayton Keller is finally going to beat UC Saros. Oh, never mind. UC Saros just flipped that man, though. Yep, that was very interesting. Hold on, I want to watch that again. Like, not only is UC Saros making the routine save here, but he's going to throw a hip check in the process, just flipping Clayton Keller. No, that sealed the deal right there. UC Saros, when it mattered most, he's making every save, and he's even throwing the body a little bit. Now, what an absolute masterclass from UC Saros. Like, he did everything in his power to help his team win that game, and when it mattered most, he showed up big time. And on top of 2013 winning that matchup, that's another attacking team victory. They're really not messing around. The 2010 draft class is going to be up next. This draft class was 15 years ago. That is wild. Now, like, I really remember Nathan McKinnon being drafted first overall, and that draft was 12 years ago. 2021's getting in another matchup here. I don't know why they're jumping into so many matchups, but apparently they feel like they can win them all. And you know what? 2021 actually might be able to hold their own with this team. Mikael Granlund, Mark Stone, Zach Hyman, Jane Schwartz, Tyler Seguin, Tyler Toffoli. Like, a lot of these guys are reaching the end of their primes. They're not the players that they used to be. When it comes to the defense, that's not amazing whatsoever. And then when it comes to goaltending, you have Freddie Anderson, who was technically drafted twice. So I put him on 2 different teams. So yeah, we're going to see Freddie Anderson twice in this video. Shout out to Freddie. He's doing the impossible. So can the 2021 draft class keep up their momentum? They've won 2 matchups so far. They're looking to make it 3. They took 17 shots in the first period. If they don't win this game, then Freddie Anderson just put on the greatest performance of all time. They're down 2-1 heading into the 3rd period. Now, this is a Freddie Anderson masterclass right now. Now, this man Freddie Anderson is really just decided to make every save imaginable. Jason Zucker's picking up another goal in this game. I think this one's over. Freddie Anderson, one of the greatest performances we've seen all time. Bro made 39 saves in this game, unless they don't take any more shots. I was assuming they were going to take 2 more shots. Never mind, he made 37 saves. I was assuming in the final 3 minutes they were going to take at least 2 more shots, meaning he would have made 39 saves. But nope, he made 37. Bro's still absolutely elite because of that performance, though. Now, like, I really tried to predict how many saves Freddie Anderson was going to make in that game. Like, we're entering the final 3 minutes. They had themselves a power play. They would have pulled the goaltender at some point. Of course, they're going to take 2 shots in the final 3 minutes. Nope. Didn't get a single shot off in the final 3 minutes, so therefore Freddie Anderson finishes with 37 saves, not 39 saves, and I look like an idiot. Why'd you do that to me? Now, after that matchup, there's only really one thing I can say. Are we surprised the attacking team won? Because the attacking team always wins. 2017, you're about to win. So we've officially entered the final 10 here, and we got to figure out which team is going to be losing to the attacking team. It looks like 2013 is going to have to pack their bags. Now, the 2017 draft was amazing for one team, the Dallas Stars, because in this draft, not only did they bring Jason Robertson to the team, but they also brought Miro Heiskanen into the team. And on top of bringing in those 2 amazing players, when it comes to goaltending, they brought in Jake Ottinger. They brought in an elite forward, a franchise defenseman, and a franchise goaltender in the span of like 50 draft picks. Because all of these guys were selected in the first 50 picks. Jake Ottinger, he was selected 26th overall. I take that back. They might have been selected in the first 40 picks. Because Jason Robertson was the latest of all these players to be drafted, and he was selected 39th overall. So the Dallas Stars, they did a phenomenal job during the 2017 draft. It was just superstar after superstar. Now we're going to figure out real quick if UC Saros' dominance is going to continue here. And I don't think it is. Because who is scoring the first goal of the game here? Why are we not surprised? We shouldn't be surprised at this. It's a 1-goal game entering the 3rd period. It's time for Robert Thomas to find the back of the net once again. But instead of Robert Thomas, Bjorkstrand's going to be picking up a big time goal to tie this game up. The Storm's going to get a power play that they're not going to be able to capitalize on, but Jason Robertson's going to score moments later, and it's a 1-goal game. UC Saros hasn't been able to make the big time saves in this one, and it looks like that's what's going to cost his team here. They're going to be falling 4-3. Jason Robertson's late goal in the 3rd period is going to be the difference, and the 2013 draft is going to be eliminated. Now, unfortunately, UC Saros just couldn't show up once again. again. He used up all of his saves in that last game, and that's going to lead to a 4-3 loss in this one. Okay, seriously, our attacking team's just going to win every matchup because another attacking team won, and I highly doubt the 2015 draft is going to be losing here. Like, I probably don't have to go over the 2015 draft. I will, but we don't have to. They're going to be taking on the 2007 draft class as well as the 2008 draft class. I'm sorry, they can't compete with 2015. Alright, so here's the 2015 draft. Connor McDavid, Kirill Kaprizov, Mikko Rantanen on the top line, Mitch Marner, Jack Eichel, Kyle Connor on the second line. Yeah, safe to say there is no weaknesses on this team whatsoever. Their defense, that actually might be the weak point, and the weak point is 85 overall Eric Chernak. Yeah, I think this defense is alright here. When it comes to goaltending, they have 87 overall Joey Decord, 86 overall Mackenzie Blackwood. So yeah, I don't see how this 2015 team doesn't just run through absolutely everybody. Now, I would be absolutely stunned if the 2015 draft class somehow lost this. Zach Werenski and Steven Stamkos are going to be exchanging goals in the first period. Moving into the second, Jack Eichel is going to be picking up a goal. Where is Connor McDavid? Where is Kirill Kaprizov? Where is Mikko Rantanen? Like, that is literally their first line, and you're telling me they haven't scored a goal yet? Something isn't right. Like, in theory, 2015 should probably average about 6 goals per game, but somehow they've only found the back of the net twice. The Sharks could tie this game up, and we could be off to overtime, but they're going to have to score in the next 2 minutes here, and it doesn't look like that's going to be happening. Nah, I think 2015 got lucky in this one. Like, according to every metric, the 2015 draft class should have scored 6 goals in that game, but they didn't score 6 goals. They only scored 2. Luckily, their defense was good enough to keep the puck out of the net, so they're going to be taking down the 2007 and 2008 draft class. And what exactly does that mean? Well, another attacking team has won here. It's time for us to go to our oldest draft classes. I'm talking 2003, 2004, 2005, and 2006. Like, we're about to look at some of the old heads of hockey, some of the oldest players in the game, and they have to go against 2015. So good luck with that. Now, don't get me wrong, this team is built up of 4 draft classes. The top 6 looks amazing here. However, the bottom 6 is a little bit weak. Like, they just don't have a lot of star power when it comes to the bottom 6. When it comes to the defense, they have some great pieces here. You have Chris Letang, you have Brett Burns, and then the rest of the pieces, not the greatest in the world. Granted, we do have to understand, Ryan Suter's 39 years old, Jack Johnson's 37, Vlasic's 37. Like, these guys clearly aren't in their primes anymore. And then when it comes to goaltending, 39-year-old Marc-Andre Fleury, 38-year-old Jonathan Quick. 10 years ago, this would be the greatest team of all time. But here we are in the year 2025, and these guys aren't the players they used to be. Now, if the 2003 to 2006 draft classes somehow beat the 2015 draft class, and another attacking team wins, I'm going to think it's completely rigged. Sidney Crosby and Mitch Marner are exchanging goals in the first period. Moving into the second, it's scoreless. The attacking team's really going to win this, aren't they? But maybe I was wrong. Timo Meier's picking up a big third period goal. He's given the 2015 draft class a 1-goal lead. Zach Werenski's going to make that a 2-goal lead. But Evgeny Malkin's going to be responding, so it's back to being a 1-goal game. But just like that, Kirill Kaprizov's picking up a big-time power play goal, and I think that's going to be the difference maker. I think this game's over, and a defending team has finally won here. Sebastian Aho, he's picking up an empty netter. Are we really surprised at this, though? Like, we're talking about the 2015 draft class taking on a bunch of 38 and 39-year-old players. Like, in theory, 2015 should win 10 times out of 10. So our oldest draft classes are officially eliminated. 2015 is going to be taking down another great team. If I'm being honest, the real matchup I want to see, 2014 versus 2015. Like, those are the 2 best draft classes. That would be an amazing game. Now, I never thought I would see the day. I never thought I would see an attacking team actually lose, but it's happened. The 2014 draft class is going to be attacking next. You can't sleep on them because they're right up there with 2015. Like, there's one thing that the 2014 draft class has that 2015 doesn't, and that's superstar goaltending. Because not only do they have 1 superstar, they have 2. Also, they're taking on 2020, by the way. Like, everyone always talks about how great the 2015 draft class is. And don't get me wrong, it's one of the greatest of all time. But don't sleep on 2014. Leon Draisaitl, Dave Pastrnak, Sam Reinhart, Ehlers, Braden Point, William Nylander, Alex Tuch, Dylan Larkin, Barbashev, Jared McCann, Sam Bennett, Kempe. That's an incredible forward core. Looking at the defense, Devon Taves, Brandon Montour, Aaron Ekblad, Jake Wollman, Forsling, Sam Heim. And then when it comes in between the pipes, you have Shesterkin and you have Sorokin. So this team is right up there with 2015. Don't sleep on them. And then we'll just go over this team really quick. I mean, 2020, You got some players here, don't get me wrong, but you're taking on 2014, and 2014 is significantly better than you in absolutely every aspect. Like, there is literally nothing you have that 2014 doesn't. Now, as much as I want to gas up 2014, anything can happen. Anything can happen in a game like this. Brandon Montour is going to be picking up the first goal of the game. Moving into the second, Jared McCann's going to be picking up one. Kansas City's yet to respond, also known as the 2020 draft class. But it looks like they're finally going to be picking up a goal, and out of all players, Mason Lowry is going to be picking up a goal for Kansas City here. Ain't no way. From the 2020 draft class, out of all players, Mason Lowry is the one stepping up when it matters. But yeah, this game's over. It looks like 2014's done messing around here. Leon Draisaitl and Dave Pastrnak are picking up back-to-back goals. Will Cooley would pick up a late one here, but it's not going to be enough. 2014's taking down 2020. Not much of a surprise. Now, 2020 had their hands full. It's not really much of a surprise it's going to be falling to 2014. They're one of the greatest drafts of all time. Now, with 2020 being eliminated, the only draft class left to attack is going to be 2019, and they're going to have to take on 2015 and Connor McDavid. So this is the final draft we have to look at today, the 2019 draft. Jack Hughes going first overall. He's going to be surrounded with Cole Caulfield and Matt Boldy, Pavel Dorofeia, Connor McMichael, Capo Caco. This isn't a terrible team, but compared to 2015, yeah, they don't stand a chance. Like, respectfully, 2015 is just that team. Not really anything you can do about it. So we have 2019 versus 2015. 2015 has a lot more depth. You know what? 2019, they have NHL players as well. There's not really anything I can say about them. But hold on, Matt Boldy's picking up a goal in the second period. We have a tie game entering the third here. 2015's low-key been selling this entire video so far. Like, by every metric, 2015 should be winning every matchup, and they should be winning every matchup in a landslide. But instead, we're off to overtime. It's a 1-1 game. Anything can happen moving forward. We might see the 2019 draft class take down 2015 and be one of the greatest upsets of all time. So 2015 is immediately going to work here. Connor McDavid has a chance to end it, but Dustin Wolf's making the save. They almost ended it 8 seconds in. No, they're not messing around anymore. So once again, Connor McDavid's going to have an incredible chance. He's looking to end this one. Dustin Wolf's going to steal this game. I can see it all happening. So Jack Eichel's bringing the puck in. They got themselves numbers. Kyle Connor a chance to end this one. That's the one time you should go with the backhand. If you went to the backhand, the game's over. All right, here we go. It's Mikey Anderson and Connor McDavid. Connor McDavid a chance to end this, and Dustin Wolf is making another ridiculous save. He has 7 saves so far in overtime. We're 2 minutes in. Okay, 2015 has this in the bag. I'm sorry. Phil Broberg's picking up a tripping penalty. They have the full pressure meter maxed out. They are the 2015 draft class. McDavid's going to be on the ice. Kirill Kaprizov's going to be on the ice. Jack Eichel will likely be on the ice. There is no reason 2015 doesn't score in the next 2 minutes unless Dustin Wolf just makes the craziest saves of all time. Now, I can't believe it, but they killed off the penalty. They actually killed off the penalty here, and 2019 might have a break. Bo Byram's bringing it in, finds Mo Seider. Joey Decor's making the save. He's playing it up to McDavid. McDavid over to Marner. Now they're looking to move. Kirill Kaprizov's got the puck. He's got a little bit of space to work with, finding McDavid, but he's going to be knocked off the puck. Mo Seider's collecting it in the corner. We're down to the final 50 seconds. McDavid's going to send it back to Marner. Marner over to Konechny. Konechny, they're just passing the puck around. A great opportunity, but the shot's going to be blocked by Cole Caulfield. He's going to try to get this out of the zone. That's exactly what he's doing. Now, I can't believe what I'm witnessing right now, but we're off to a shootout. 2015 wasn't able to capitalize during overtime, and we need a shootout to settle this one. Like, they had so many incredible opportunities. Dustin Wolf just stopped everything, but now he needs to stop everything in the shootout. So it's no surprise the first shooter for 2019 is going to be Jack Hughes. He's looking to get his team on the board, but he's not going to be able to do that. Now, Connor McDavid's looking to finally score on Dustin Wolf here. Is he going to be able to do so? It doesn't look like it. So we're moving over to Cole Caulfield now. Can he get a puck past Joey Decord? No, he can't. He's making big saves now. So Mitch Marner, it's your time to shine. It's time for you to step up in the big time moments, but Dustin Wolf's stepping up even more. Now, Matt Boldy, this could be the biggest goal of your life if you're able to score one right here. Ain't no way 2019's really going to do it. They're going to take down the 2015 draft class thanks to Dustin Wolf putting on the greatest performance of all time. If you thought that UC Saros performance earlier was the greatest, Dustin Wolf's doing crazy things right now. There is one more man he needs to stop, Mikko Rantanen. Mikko Rantanen's going to be the last player that Dustin Wolf has to stop here, and he's going to be able to do so. Dustin Wolf, that was historic. How many shots did you face between overtime and shootout? 13. He made 13 of the biggest saves. 39 of 40 shots he stopped. Dustin Wolf, you are an absolute legend for what you just did there. So Dustin Wolf, you're the GOAT. You are the greatest goaltender of all time after that performance. I'm willing to say it because that was historic. We're down to our final 5 draft classes. I was fully expecting 2015 to be here, but apparently not because Dustin Wolf's just that guy. So we finally know who's on every draft class team, and we're down to our final 5 draft classes. 2010's on the attack next. So with 2010 on the attack, who are they going to be taking on? It looks like they got 2018. So we got the Astros taking on the Dogs here. Who's going to be showing up? Well, of course, it's going to be the Dogs. Joe Veleno's going to be picking up the first goal of the game. Moving into the second, 2018's flying. Svechnikov's picking up a goal. Quinn Hughes is picking up 1. Ryan McLeod's picking up 1. Luckily, Zach Hyman and Zucker are picking up goals, so it's still a 2-goal game entering the third period. They could make the comeback, but they're going to have to do it pretty quick. But maybe the comeback's already over. Maybe not. I take that back. Svechnikov might have scored, but so is Mark Stone. Now, the Astros just have to pick up a quick goal here. Like, time isn't on their side. We're down to the final 5 minutes and they haven't been able to pick up another. Time is just run out for the Astros here, and they're going to be falling to the 2018 draft class. 2018 is going to be taking down 2010, and we're down to the final 4. So when the lights were the brightest, I guess they were just too bright for 2010, and they're going to be falling. So that was a pretty quick matchup. So it's time to move on to our next one, and that's going to feature 2019. Dustin Wolf's team. Like, it's very clear 2019 is one man's team, and that is Dustin Wolf. He's going to be taking on 2017. I think he can handle it. So it's time for another Dustin Wolf masterclass. When it matters most, he's going to be showing up big time here. He's only allowed 1 goal in this game, and that was to Jason Robertson. Hogan just picking up a second period goal, so they have the 2-1 lead. As long as Dustin Wolf stands on his head, they're going to be winning this game. So it looks like Tolvanen's going to be able to score a goal on Dustin Wolf. That doesn't happen too often. We're entering the final 4 minutes here, and we might be off to overtime once again. Dustin Wolf is perfect in overtime in a shootout, so he's looking to be perfect once again here to help the Walrus win. And yes, I named the 2019 draft the Yukon Walrus. You're just going to have to deal with that. So the Walrus have an offensive zone draw that they're not going to be winning. Cale Makar's turning the puck over. Connor McMichael, you had enough space there. You shouldn't have taken the shot so early. You had more room to work with there. And the Walrus are getting a power play here. Nick Suzuki, a cross-checking penalty. You're selling. Why are you taking a cross-checking penalty there? That is just foolish. No, Nick Suzuki sold, but it looks like 2019 is looking to go the other way, and what a surprise, Mo Sider's leading the way. Bro's been running the offense every single time he's bringing the puck up the ice. Dylan Cousins is found wide open. He's going to bury this one. 2019 is winning yet again. Dustin Wolf's legacy continues here. Nah, bro's really him. Like, he is not messing around whatsoever. He is standing on his head big time. At the rate Mo Sider's bringing the puck into the offensive zone, bro might as well just be a forward. He is running the offense constantly once he brings it into the offensive zone, and it's working out. 2019 is going to be winning yet again here. We're down to our final 3. Now, there's 2 more teams that have to attack here, and it looks like 2018 is going to be on the move next. They're either taking on 2014 or 2019. Now, whichever team doesn't get landed on here is going to be moving on to the final. What a surprise. 2014's Mickey Mouse run continues. Dustin Wolf has to have another incredible game. So Dustin Wolf, can you keep your legacy going here? Can you keep the puck out of your net? Yes, you can. It's 2-0 after the first period. It's 2-0 after the second. Dustin Wolf has made 26 saves so far. Now, it only makes sense for him to make the final. With the way he's been playing, he deserves to be in the final. Dustin Wolf is going to go down as one of the greatest performers of all time. Joel Farabee scoring on Dustin Wolf. Not really ideal when I'm trying to make the comment about him being one of the greatest of all time, but that's neither here nor there because time is running out for the Dogs. Mo Sider's picking up an empty net goal. We have our final. 2019 led by Dustin Wolf taking on 2014 led by a bunch of NHL superstars. So we have one game to decide it all. Which draft class is the greatest? Is it 2014 or 2019? Never expected 2019 to be in this conversation, but here we are. So we have our final, the 2019 draft class led by Dustin Wolf, taking on 2014, led by a ton of superstars. It all comes down to this. David Pasternak's picking up the first 2 goals. Both of them are power play goals. Moving into the second period, just when you thought it was over, a Cole Caulfield hat trick. He's picking up 3 goals in the second period. Brandon Montour is going to be picking up 1. We have a tie game entering the third period, and Aaron Ekblad's immediately scoring. That's heartbreaking. But you know what? Stick on the ice legend Holgander is going to step up when it matters most. He's picking up a big goal. Braden Point's going to be responding though. It's a 1-goal game. Dustin Wolf can't stop everything. Like when push came to shove, Dustin Wolf hasn't been able to stop everything. There's been way too many power play goals scored in this game, and just like that, it's over. The Dustin Wolf legacy run has come to an end here. He's going to be falling to the 2014 draft class as they're going to be taking down 2019. Now, I can only use one word to describe what we just witnessed. Heartbreaking. That was heartbreaking. I was cheering for the 2019 draft class. They were the clear underdog heading into that matchup, but 2014 is going to come out on top. They had the amazing offense. They had the elite defense. They had the superstar goaltending. They just had everything you need to win a challenge like this. Like from the very beginning, I thought this was between 2014 and 2015. They were clearly the two best draft classes, but 2019 went on a run, and that run was led by Dustin Wolf. A historic performance has come to an end with the 2014 draft class being the last team standing.